everyone, it's Angela from the Aura Stream. Welcome to our segment called Lesson Learned. This is a segment pretty much reflecting back on recent experiences or lessons that I've learned that are helping me grow on this healing journey as we are all on. So I'm going to share a few thoughts, share your comments, share your views. You can privately DM me if this resonates with you. But today's topic, we are going to talk about making amends or making peace with your past. It sounds easier than it is. The past is, of course, in the background. A lot of us don't like to visit it, but our past pretty much makes us who we are presently, as our future self awaits for us to get to that point. So recently, I've had a lot of moments lately, I don't know what it is, eclipse season or whatnot, where, me and my partner had a very touching conversation about my issues with abandonment. So I will be the first to admit that I have abandonment issues. That's step one with shadow work and making amends or making peace with your past. I do have abandonment issues, stem from childhood. A lot of things are stemming from childhood traumas, childhood challenges, experience, and etc. Sometimes it's more recent. We'll discover what our triggers are in our adult lives, or we're currently going through it. So my issue that I had, or what we had discussed about my abandonment issues, I don't like to use it as a crutch. What I've been learning so far is to kind of just handle my shit, you know what I mean? Take accountability, say I'm sorry when I can, my bad when I can, that was my fault, when I can, because then it's not going to really hold me back. It's not going to weigh heavily on my mind as to, oh man, I wish I would have said that, I wish I had the opportunity to say that. Making amends or making peace with your past means to kind of do the shadow work and to kind of deep dive as to why you're being triggered for certain things, what's holding you back. And a lot of you that have been following me for a long time have known that I do emphasize on shadow work. I think it's very important to know where your triggers are coming from, and then how do we resolve them. So my issues with abandonment is, growing up, and we're not going to throw any names out there. Growing up, I was kind of more in the background. I'm a natural observer, so I observe things before I react. I kind of feel everything out. I feel like I've been very intuitive at a very young age. Growing up, since I was the oldest, I didn't have anyone to look up to. I didn't have a specific role model. I didn't have anyone where I said, hey, I want to be like them. I kind of had to just figure things out on my own. As I was growing up, my relationships changed with a lot of different people, and I noticed a lot of people started to not really use me, but kind of just go to me, get what they need, and leave. And I was always used to people leaving. So that's where my abandonment comes from. One person could have just left physically, for a little bit, or one person literally could have dumped me or ghosted me, and that's where my issue is. So making peace with my past, when I was talking to my partner, he, when we touched upon this subject about, people leaving me not getting the love that I was looking for, so I was seeking it in other people, that made me lose myself, trying to find myself in others, because I was a people pleaser. I wanted to make sure people stayed, so I was going overboard with the love, with the smothering, with, I'll do this for you, I'm going to drop everything I can for you, just so you could stay, just so you could not leave me. So I did that for a very, very long time, up until recently, where I discovered, maybe the issues aren't always the other person or other situation, maybe sometimes you're the toxic one. So I really had to take a step back and look into my behaviors as to why this abandonment hurts so much, even to this day, is because I wasn't the type to be able to let go. And it's funny because my actual first tattoo, it says let go and let God, and trust me, letting go is the hardest thing for me to do. I'm an Aquarius, I'm a fixed sign. If it's here, I'm going to stick to it. It's hard for me to budge. as free flowing of the spirit as I am. So my abandonment issues from the lack of love that I was trying to receive from others, there was that big void. But going through this spiritual journey, and again, my partner and I talked about this, those voids helped me realize what type of gift I can give to other people. That lack of love, that lack of commitment, that lack of this and that I was seeking so much from other people, I had to find that for myself. I had to fill my own cup so that way I can spread that out. I used my pain, my trauma, my hurt from my past and used it and changed it to something more positive, more meaningful, more resourceful. And now I am able to help others, fill that void themselves, because I didn't have anyone to assist me with that. So I know how it feels to be empty. Making peace with my past is acknowledging where my hurt was and then turning that around to make sure I don't do the same to others, that I don't hurt others. So my lesson learned from this is, acknowledge what's hurt you in the past, acknowledge your past, because it is going to make you who you are right now. Your current situation is not your final destination. Your past wasn't your final destination. That's why you're still here. Your future self is waiting for you. Your higher self is waiting for you to go through these cycles, to go through these healing journeys, to go through these lessons and these challenges to mold you into your highest self, whether it to be a better person. Sometimes you want to stay the same person. That's totally fine. It's your journey. It's up to you. But for me, I'm always ever evolving. I'm always a student of the universe, always trying to learn. I like to dissect. I like to just analyze things. And for me and a lot of people, going to the past is not going to be pretty. It's going to be traumatizing. It's going to be hurtful. It's going to be rough. But I feel like it is necessary for growth, and especially around this time right now, I feel like the collective is going through a lot of growing pains. So I think it's important for us to do a deep dive, especially into our past, when we do the shadow work, to acknowledge the pain, to acknowledge its presence, and say to ourselves, my past, my trauma does not define me. I have a higher purpose, and sometimes I may not know what that is. I don't know where it is, but I'm going to get there. And for me to make peace with my past, it's going to help me make peace with my present, and then make peace with my future. So when you have the time, it could be something small that's been bugging you. It could be something from your childhood trauma that's bugging you. It could be something from yesterday at work that's bugging you. Take a look into that past, which is any time from, before this very moment. Take a look into the past, acknowledge what it is, see how you can learn from those challenges and how you can apply it to yourself today. Turn those negatives into a positive. Turn those challenges into opportunities. There's always time to progress. Again, healing is not linear. Healing is not a race. It's a marathon. Whoever says they're done healing says they're perfect, and that's not possible, right? There's always something to grow from. And again, touching on this recent eclipse season, it's been very challenging for a lot of people, especially myself, to establish those boundaries. But you have to remember, you come first out of everything. Yes, your child, yes, your spouse, they come first, but you are not able to give them that care and that love if you cannot pour that back into yourself. And again, shadow work and deep diving into your past will help you understand how it is you're supposed to flow through life. And I'm not here to tell you how you're supposed to do it. You guys figure that out. But I just wanted to share with you, at that moment, I was ugly crying because I understood my traumas. I understood my pain. And then I realized that I can turn that around, and that lack that was in my heart, or that void that I was feeling at the time, I could feel that in myself. You don't really have to depend on anyone to do it, to provide you your happiness. You can provide that yourself. So when you get a chance, you know, it doesn't have to be all emotional, all boohoo or whatever. You know, do a little deep diving to your soul, to your past, and, you know, things that are hurting you, things that are triggering you. Figure out what that is. Again, it's going to be uncomfortable. Figure out what it is. Accept it. Acknowledge it. And then say to yourself, how can I, you know, turn this situation around? How can I let this not affect me? Because you don't want to walk around with the cloud above your head all the time, right? Sometimes we have days like that, and that's totally fine. But again, your energy is everything. Your energy is infectious. If you feel a certain way, people around you are going to feel a certain way, and then it's just going to trickle on. So in a sense, be responsible for your own energy. Be responsible for the energy that you bring into your own space, to other people's space. You never know what people are going through. You know, so be kind to yourself, especially when you're trying to make peace with your past. It's not going to be instant. It's not going to take a day for it to just go away and be like, okay, everything is good. It will take some time. It is going to be uncomfortable. It may hurt. You're going to cry. Just release it. A lot of that stuff is pent up energy waiting for you to release it. And sometimes you have to say to yourself, you know what, I messed up. You know what, I know this hurt me, but I'm just going to let it go. Because in order for me to find peace currently, I have to find peace with my past. I have to forgive my past self for not knowing any better, for not having the resources, for not asking for help. But now, since I'm in a better state, I'm able to turn those situations around and help myself and possibly help other people. Reach out, let me know what your lesson learned is, and maybe we could talk about it on our next segment. All right, thanks guys.